You've been tracking a setup all morning. It doesn't quite meet your criteria yet. You're waiting patiently for confirmation. Then your phone buzzes. A text from your trading friend. Just took this breakout on AAPL, already up $420. Clean setup. Something shifts inside you. Suddenly, your patience feels like hesitation. Your caution feels like cowardice. Your careful analysis feels like overthinking. You look back at your setup that's still incomplete, and now it looks good enough. You take the trade. Not because anything changed in the market, because something changed in you. A pressure you didn't even know was building just forced you into a trade you weren't ready to take. 2 hours later, you're stopped out. You lost $230 on a setup that never met your criteria. And here's what makes this devastating. You weren't following your strategy. You weren't even following your impulses. You were responding to invisible pressure that had nothing to do with the trade itself. This hidden pressure is destroying your trading in ways you can't see. It's not greed or fear. It's not overconfidence or revenge trading. It's something more subtle, more pervasive, more difficult to recognize. And until you identify the specific pressures controlling your trading decisions, you'll keep making trades you know are wrong, while feeling like you had no choice. The psychology of hidden pressure in trading. Here's what's actually happening when invisible pressure forces you into bad trades, and why you can't see these forces even as they control your behavior. Pressure in trading psychology operates like atmospheric pressure in physics. You don't feel atmospheric pressure pressing on your body because it's constant, uniform, surrounding you completely. But it's there, exerting 14.7 pounds per square inch on every surface of your body. You only notice it when it changes suddenly. Hidden trading pressures work the same way. They're constant, invisible, always present. You don't recognize them as pressure because they feel like normal thoughts, reasonable considerations, logical concerns. But they're actually external and internal forces pushing you toward trading behaviors that contradict your strategy. These pressures accumulate over time, building in your trading psychology without conscious awareness. Then, at critical decision moments, they overflow and force you into actions you didn't plan, wouldn't rationally choose, and can't fully explain afterward. The reason these pressures remain hidden is that they disguise themselves as legitimate trading considerations. Your brain presents them as analytical factors or strategic reasoning, when they're actually emotional and social pressures that have nothing to do with market conditions. The 5 hidden pressures that control your trading. Not all pressure is the same. Different types of hidden pressure create distinct trading psychology problems. Pressure 1. Social comparison and relative performance anxiety. This is the pressure that comes from knowing what other traders are doing, achieving, or experiencing. You see posts about winning trades. You hear about someone's great month. You watch trading content showing profitable strategies. Your friend texts you about their gains. Each of these inputs creates microscopic pressure in your trading psychology. I should be performing like that. I should be finding those opportunities. I should be more active. I should be capitalizing on this market like they are. Your internal dialogue under this pressure. Other traders are crushing it today. What am I missing? Why am I just sitting here? I need to find opportunities. I should be more active. I should be capitalizing on this market like they are. Pressure 2. Productivity and time justification anxiety. This is the pressure that comes from feeling like you need to justify the time you're spending on trading. You've been watching charts for 3 hours. You haven't taken a trade. Your brain starts calculating. 3 hours with no productivity. 3 hours wasted. You should have something to show for this time. This pressure transforms trading from strategic opportunity seeking into time-filling activity. You're not taking trades because they meet your criteria. You're taking trades because you need to feel productive, to justify your screen time, to convert empty hours into trading activity. Your internal dialogue under this pressure. I've been here all morning. I should have at least one trade to show for it.
I can't just sit here doing nothing. That's not really trading. Let me find something tradable. I need to make this time count. Pressure 3. Financial obligations and money need pressure. This is the pressure that comes from financial needs, goals, or expectations. Bills are due. You set a monthly income target. You need to recover last month's losses. You're trying to build your account to a specific size. Your family depends on trading income. Each of these creates pressure to make money right now through trading. Your trading psychology shifts from executing your edge to generating required income. You're no longer trading opportunities. You're trying to extract money from the market to meet external obligations. Your internal dialogue under this pressure: I need to make $1,500 this week. I'm only up $300. I need to find more trades. I need to be more aggressive. I can't afford to pass on opportunities. I need to hit my target. Pressure 4. Recency and momentum pressure. This is the pressure that comes from recent trading results creating expectations for current trading. You had a great day yesterday. Your brain expects today to be similar. Or you've lost for 3 days straight. Your brain feels like a win is due. Or the market was very active last week. Your brain expects continued activity this week. These recency-based expectations create pressure to find opportunities that match your recent experience, even when current market conditions are completely different. You're trading your expectations of what should be happening rather than what actually is happening. Your internal dialogue under this pressure: yesterday I took 5 great trades. Today feels slow, but there must be opportunities like yesterday. Let me look harder. Let me check more time frames. Something similar to yesterday has to be setting up. Pressure 5. Identity and self-concept pressure. This is the deepest and hidden pressure. It comes from your concept of what it means to be a trader. Traders take trades. Traders are active in markets. Traders make decisions. Traders capitalize on opportunities. If you're not doing these things, are you really a trader? This identity pressure makes you feel like you need to trade to validate your identity as a trader. Not trading feels like not being a trader. So you take trades not because they're good trades, but because trading is what traders do, and you need to maintain your self-concept. Your internal dialogue under this pressure: I'm a trader. Traders trade. I can't just sit here watching all day. That's not what traders do. I need to be in the market, making decisions, taking positions. That's what this is about.
Meet Yale, the trader controlled by invisible forces. Yale had been trading for 5 years when he finally recognized that his trading decisions weren't entirely his own. He thought he was making strategic choices based on market analysis. What he discovered was that hidden pressures were making his decisions for him. The realization came during a particularly frustrating trading session. Yale had taken 4 trades that day. When he reviewed them in his journal that evening, he couldn't explain why he'd taken any of them. None met his full criteria. None were setups he would have taken in his backtesting. But in the moment, each had felt necessary, urgent, justified. Yale started documenting not just his trades, but the context surrounding his trading decisions. What was happening in his life? What had he seen on social media that day? What texts or messages had he received? What were his financial pressures? What expectations did he bring to the session? Over 3 months of detailed documentation, Yale discovered something shocking. His trades correlated more strongly with external pressures than with actual market conditions. Days when he saw posts about others' wins, 67% increase in trade frequency. Days when he'd been watching screens for 4+ hours with no trades, 81% increase in marginal setup entries. Weeks when he had bills due, 43% increase in position sizes beyond his rules. Days following winning streaks, 56% increase in forcing trades that didn't meet criteria. Days when he felt he should be trading more, 74% increase in rule violations. Yale's trading wasn't being driven by his strategy. It was being driven by accumulated pressure that he couldn't see until he explicitly mapped it. These hidden forces were making him feel like his decisions were analytical when they were actually reactions to psychological and social pressures. Inside Yale's mind, a day of pressure-driven trading. Yale documented his internal dialogue during a day where hidden pressures completely controlled his trading behavior. Morning. The pressure begins building. Tuesday, 9 a.m., Yale sat down to trade. Before even opening his charts, he checked his trading group chat. 3 traders had posted about profitable trades from Monday. One showed a screenshot, up $1,840 for the day. Yale's internal reaction, wow, great day for them, good for them. But underneath, pressure began accumulating. I didn't trade yesterday, I was waiting for setups, but maybe I was too selective. They found opportunities, why didn't I? Yale opened his charts and started his analysis. Market conditions were choppy, sideways, low volume, not ideal for his strategy. His analysis concluded, likely low opportunity day, remain patient. But the pressure whispered, you can't have another day with no trades. That's 2 days in a row of just watching. What are you even doing if you're not trading? Mid-morning, pressure intensified. By 11:30 a.m., Yale had been watching for 2.5 hours. No clear setups had appeared. This should have been fine. His strategy didn't require daily trading, but multiple pressures were now converging. Time justification pressure. 2.5 hours, nothing. This is wasted time. You should have something to show for this. Social comparison pressure. Other traders found opportunities today. You're missing something. You're not seeing what they're seeing. Identity pressure. You're supposed to be a trader. Traders trade. You're just sitting here. Anyone can watch. Trading requires action. Yale's rational brain tried to intervene. The market doesn't care about my time. The market doesn't care what other people traded. Good trading is selective. Wait for your setups. But the pressure was building toward overflow. Noon, the first pressure-driven trade. At 12:15 p.m., Yale spotted a pattern on a stock. It had one of his 3 required confirmations. On a normal day, clear pass. But under accumulated pressure, his perception shifted. His internal dialogue. Pressure-driven Yale. This has potential. The volume isn't quite there, but look at the price action. It's showing strength. You've been waiting all morning. This is reasonable. It's not perfect, but perfect is luxury when you've been sitting idle for 3 hours. Rational Yale. This doesn't meet your criteria. 1 out of 3 confirmations. Pass. Pressure-driven Yale. You can't pass on everything. That's not trading, that's hiding. Other traders would take this. They'd see the strength. You're overthinking. You're letting opportunities slip away. Take it. Prove you're actually trading, not just watching. The pressure won. Yale entered the trade. Not because of analysis, because the accumulated pressure to act, to justify his time, to match others' activity, to validate his trader identity, had become unbearable. Afternoon. The pressure cascade. The trade stopped out within 40 minutes. Yale lost $180. Now a new pressure activated, recovery pressure. Great, now you're down for the day. You sat here all morning for nothing, then took a loss. You need to find another trade. You need to recover. You can't end the day negative after wasting all this time. At 1:30 p.m., Yale took a second trade, also didn't meet his criteria, driven entirely by the need to recover and justify the session. That trade also failed. Loss, $165. Total, minus $345. By 3 p.m., Yale was in emotional freefall. Financial pressure activated. That's $345 you can't afford to lose. That's real money. You need to make it back. Find a trade that will recover this. Yale took a third trade with double his normal position size. Stopped out. Loss, $290. Yale ended the day down $635. He hadn't followed his strategy once. Every single trade was driven by hidden pressures that accumulated throughout the day and forced him into behaviors he knew were wrong. Evening, the recognition.
That night, reviewing his trading journal, Yale had a devastating realization. He wrote, "I didn't make a single trading decision today based on market analysis. Every decision was a response to pressure. Social pressure to match others, time pressure to justify my hours, identity pressure to be a trader, recovery pressure after losses. I wasn't trading the market. I was managing internal and external pressures through trading. The market was just the vehicle for pressure release." This was Yale's breakthrough moment. His trading problem wasn't about strategy or analysis. It was about being controlled by hidden pressures he couldn't see.
The anatomy of hidden pressure destruction. Yale analyzed his pattern and identified exactly how hidden pressures destroyed his trading. Destruction pattern 1. Decision authority transfer. Hidden pressures transferred decision-making authority from Yale's strategy to external factors. His trading plan said, trade only on 3 confirmation setups. But social comparison pressure, time justification pressure, and identity pressure collectively overruled that plan. Yale thought he was making trading decisions, but he wasn't. The pressures were making decisions for him. His role had reduced to executing what the pressure demanded while creating post hoc rationalizations that made pressure-driven actions feel like strategic choices. Destruction pattern 2. Perception distortion under pressure. Hidden pressures systematically distorted how Yale perceived setups. Under social comparison pressure, marginal setups looked viable because other traders would take these. Under time justification pressure, incomplete setups looked good enough because something is better than nothing. The market data was identical, but the pressure-altered lens through which Yale viewed that data made bad setups appear reasonable, even obvious. Pressure was controlling his perception, not just his actions. Destruction pattern 3. Cumulative pressure overflow. Individual pressures were manageable. Social comparison alone wouldn't force a bad trade. Time justification alone wouldn't override his strategy. But pressures accumulated and combined. By afternoon, Yale was operating under 5 simultaneous pressures, each amplifying the others. This cumulative effect created pressure overflow, where his rational control systems were completely overwhelmed. He wasn't making bad decisions. He was being forced into actions by psychological pressure that exceeded his capacity to resist. Destruction pattern 5. Invisible feedback loops. The cruelest aspect was how pressure-driven trades created more pressure. Taking a trade to relieve social comparison pressure led to a loss, which activated recovery pressure, which led to another bad trade, which increased financial pressure, which forced another violation. Each pressure-driven action created consequences that generated new pressures. Yale was trapped in a feedback loop where pressure led to bad trades created new pressures, and new pressures forced more bad trades. Destruction pattern 5. Strategic abandonment rationalization. Hidden pressures didn't just force bad trades, they made Yale rationalize abandoning his strategy as reasonable, even strategic. Under pressure, his strategy felt too rigid, too conservative, too divorced from real trading. This meant Yale wasn't just violating his strategy, he was convincing himself his strategy was the problem. The pressures were causing him to question the very system designed to protect him from pressure-driven decisions. Yale's transformation, building pressure-resistant systems. Everything changed when Yale stopped trying to resist pressure through willpower and started building systems that either neutralized pressure or blocked pressure-driven actions. System 1. Pressure identification and naming. Yale's first step was making pressure visible. He created a pre-trading pressure audit where he explicitly identified and named active pressures before trading. Am I feeling social comparison pressure? Yes or no? If yes, describe. Am I feeling time justification pressure? Yes or no? If yes, how long have I been watching?
Am I feeling financial pressure? Yes or no? If yes, what obligations or targets exist? Am I feeling recency pressure? Yes or no? If yes, what recent results am I trying to match? Am I feeling identity pressure? Yes or no? If yes, what do I think I should be doing? Simply naming these pressures reduced their power. Once Yale explicitly recognized, I'm feeling social comparison pressure because I saw posts about others' wins, that pressure became a recognized force he could consciously resist rather than an invisible driver of behavior. System 2. Social media and communication blackout during trading. Yale implemented a complete communication blackout during trading hours. No trading group chats, no social media, no texts from trading friends. Phone on airplane mode except for emergencies. This eliminated social comparison pressure at its source. If Yale didn't know what others were trading or achieving, he couldn't feel pressure to match their activity or results. His trading decisions became isolated from others' performance. System 3. Defined session parameters. Yale eliminated time justification pressure by redefining what constituted a successful trading session. He wrote explicit session success criteria. Successful session equals followed my process, regardless of trades taken. Successful session equals maintained discipline, regardless of profit or loss. Successful session equals no rule violations, even if no opportunities appeared. This meant a 6-hour session with 0 trades was a complete success if no valid setups appeared. Yale's success wasn't measured by activity or profit, it was measured by process adherence. This eliminated pressure to make the time count through forced trading. System 4. Financial pressure separation. Yale created complete separation between his trading and his financial obligations. He set up a separate savings account that covered 3 months of living expenses. His trading capital was defined as money he could afford to lose completely without affecting his life. He wrote this statement and posted it on his monitor. This trading capital is not my bill money. This is not my living money. Trading will never be used to meet immediate financial obligations. Trading is long-term capital growth, not income generation. This eliminated financial pressure from his trading psychology. He wasn't trading to pay bills. He was trading to execute his edge over time. System 5. Expectation Reset Protocol. Yale implemented a daily expectation reset that neutralized recency pressure. Every morning he wrote, "Yesterday's results are irrelevant to today's opportunities. Last week's activity doesn't predict this week's market. I have 0 expectations for today's trade count or results. I will respond to what the market provides, not what I expect based on recent history." This explicit reset prevented his brain from carrying forward expectations based on recent experience. Each day started fresh, with 0 pressure to match prior performance or activity. System 6. Identity redefinition. Yale rewrote his trading identity to eliminate identity pressure. His new definition, I am a trader who executes a systematic strategy. Trading means following my process, not taking trades. The trades are byproducts of the process, not the definition of the activity. This meant Yale could spend entire days watching markets without trading and still fully inhabit his trader identity. Being a trader didn't require taking trades. It required maintaining his strategic process. This eliminated pressure to trade to prove his trader status.
The breakthrough realization. 8 months into his transformation, Yale was watching the market on a day when multiple pressures were present. He'd seen posts about others' profits. He'd been watching for hours without trades. He had monthly bills approaching. He felt the pressures building. Social comparison, time justification, financial obligation. His old pattern would have been to respond by forcing a trade. Instead, Yale had a profound insight. These pressures are real. I feel them, but they have nothing to do with the market in front of me. The market doesn't care about my bills, my time, or what others are trading. These pressures want me to take action, but action isn't the solution. The solution is recognizing that these pressures are asking the wrong questions. The right question isn't, should I trade? It's, does a valid setup exist? And today, the answer is no. Yale closed his platform. He didn't take a single trade that day, and he felt completely fine about it because he'd recognized the pressures, named them, and refused to let them control his behavior. Yale's results. The transformation in numbers. The changes in Yale's results after implementing pressure-resistant systems were dramatic. Before systems, days with high social comparison exposure, 67% more trades, 89% were losses. Sessions over 4 hours, 81% more marginal entries, 72% were losses. Weeks with financial pressure, 43% larger positions, 34% worse results. Overall, highly inconsistent results with frequent pressure-driven disasters. After systems, complete isolation from social comparison during trading. Sessions defined by process success, not activity or time. Financial pressure eliminated through separation. Results: 87% rule compliance rate, 28% annual return, dramatically reduced volatility. Same markets, same base strategy. The only difference was that Yale stopped allowing hidden pressures to control his trading decisions.
How to stop hidden pressure. Your action plan. If you recognize these patterns in your trading, here's your systematic approach. Step 1. Map your pressures. For the next 2 weeks, after every trading session, write down all pressures you experienced: social, temporal, financial, recency-based, identity-based. Make these invisible forces visible through explicit documentation. Step 2. Identify your highest impact pressures. Review your pressure documentation. Which pressures most frequently force you into bad trades? Rank them by destructive impact. These are your priority targets for systematic intervention. Step 3. Implement communication blackout. During trading hours, eliminate all social comparison inputs. No group chats, no social media, no messages from other traders. Create complete isolation from others' trading activity and results. Step 4. Redefine session success. Write new success criteria based entirely on process adherence, not outcomes or activity. A successful session is one where you followed your strategy, regardless of whether you took trades or made money. Step 5. Build financial buffer. Build a buffer that ensures your immediate financial needs aren't dependent on trading results. Define your trading capital as separate from living expenses. Eliminate financial pressure from your trading psychology. Step 6. Daily expectation reset. Each morning, explicitly write or say, recent results don't predict today's opportunities. I have zero expectations for trade count or outcomes. I will respond to what exists, not what I expect. Step 7. Rename your trading identity. Redefine what it means to be a trader in terms of process adherence, not activity. Write your new definition prominently where you can see it during trading. Step 8. Build pressure awareness check-ins. Set alerts during trading sessions. When they sound, pause and ask, am I feeling pressure right now? What type? Is this pressure influencing my current analysis? Build real-time pressure recognition.
The fundamental truth about pressure and trading. Here's what Yale ultimately learned. Hidden pressures are always present. You cannot eliminate them completely, but you can recognize them, name them, and refuse to let them control your trading decisions. The pressures aren't the problem. The problem is unconsciously responding to them while believing you're making analytical decisions. When you can't see the pressure, you can't resist it. When you name it explicitly, it loses much of its power. Your trading decisions should be driven by one thing. Does a valid setup exist according to your strategy? Not what are others doing? Not how long have I been watching? Not what do I need to make? Not what did I do yesterday? Not what should traders do? Hidden pressures will always try to inject themselves into your decision-making. Your job is to build systems that either block those pressures or make them so visible that you can consciously choose not to respond to them. You're not weak for feeling these pressures. You're human. But you don't have to let them control your trading. Build awareness. Build separation. Build systems that enforce strategy over pressure. Your worst trades aren't market mistakes, they're pressure responses. Stop responding to pressure. Start responding only to valid setups. That's how hidden pressure stops forcing you into bad trades.